Joining us, for those folks that are joining us online, and those in attendance here live at the IX Center, let's open up the post-fight press conference for Bellator 66 with opening comments from CEO and Chairman of the Bellator Fighting Championships, Mr. Bjorn Rebney.
Thanks, Mike. I don't know if I see Greg anywhere in here, but the NAAFS did an amazing job with our promotion. They asked us if we would come to Cleveland. We did come to Cleveland. The crowd showed up. It was loud. It was crazy. And a lot of that is due to them and the incredible work that they put in to bring us here. So I don't know if Greg's even out here, if he's still working, but a big thank you to a great organization that has been thriving here in the state of Ohio and has done just an amazing job with us. Always like to thank our TV partners at Spike Network and at MTV Networks and Viacom for doing an amazing job producing this show and distributing it to 75 countries around the world, 100 million homes here in the States. So a big thank you to them. A big congratulations to Will, the son soon-to-be of Brent Weidman. A big win tonight. And a terrific fight between two guys who I just put on. There was a method to the madness of having Thiago Michel and Brent Weidman start our evening because they put on just a great fight right out of the box and a great win for Brent moving forward to the finals. Good decision breaking down to 55, I think, hindsight being 20/20. And Thiago Michel, who will be back with us in short order, who is just spectacularly exciting and fun to watch. So big congratulations to both of these guys, but to Brent, congratulations, my friend.
Well, I feel better than I look. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and supporting us. I'd like to thank all my sponsors for supporting me. I'd like to thank my father for making it to it's the first time my father has been in my corner since I was an amateur. That meant a great deal to me. My coaches. I'd like to especially thank Thiago Michel. He's an excellent guy. He's an incredible fighter. He's tough as they come, and I really respect him a lot. And yeah, I can't, everybody knows that guy that can't stop talking about his kids. Well, I haven't even had my kid yet. That's all you guys have heard about from me for the last, couple weeks. So it's going to get worse. I'm driving home tonight to make sure that I beat him, because he's due any day. So, I can't wait to see him. And once again, thanks everybody. I had a great time tonight.
Obrigado, Bellator, pela oportunidade. Obrigado ao Brent Weidman, um excelente atleta, um grande guerreiro. Para mim foi uma honra participar desse evento e espero ter a oportunidade em breve de voltar, lutar e poder mostrar meu trabalho. E quando vocês me chamarem, estarei pronto.
Thank you very much for Bellator. Thank you very much for my opponent. He's a great warrior. I really enjoyed the fight. I'd like to say that we're going to be waiting for the next invitation. I'm going to be ready. And whenever you call me, I'm going to be ready to rock and roll.
And Greg and Lloyd, I think we had a short conversation. You said strategy creates opportunity, and the way it does, your strategy just continues to win and win in dramatic fashion. Just a great performance tonight against an extremely, extremely tough 155-pounder in Lloyd Woodard, who will be back with us in short order, knocking people out and bringing the fight. But great night tonight, spectacular highlight performance. It'll be up on YouTube in no time, so great work tonight.
Thank you, everybody. I knew coming into this fight it wasn't going to be easy. Lloyd's a tough guy. He's beat some good guys. He's fought hard. Even in his losses, he's a warrior. So knew it wasn't going to be easy. We had a great game plan, and it worked out good tonight. I'm excited to be in the finals again, and going against another tough guy, against Brent. So looking forward to the fight. And, it's going to be fun. Thank you to everyone for the support, and Bellator and all my sponsors. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
I'd like to say congratulations to Rick Hahn. You had a good game plan. I feel like Nick Diaz right now. I came in there to fight, and he baited me in, and he used my attitude against me. Thank you to all my fans in Montana. I will be back, and I will be stronger than ever, and I will be raging hard mad as ever for my next fight. So thank you, everybody.
Cal's not here, but a big congratulations to Michael on a big victory. He's overcome a lot and eked out a win tonight against Slava. This is a gentleman you will see a lot of at 185 pounds. He is a very, very talented middleweight who will be back with us in very short order, and I would not bet against him in the next tournament that we have.
Я хочу сказать, что Майкл Фалькао очень сильный боец, но я считаю, что я выиграл этот бой. Вот. Поэтому я недоволен судейским решением при всем уважении к судьям. Да? Я считаю, что я одержал победу. Также я хочу сказать, что я еще вернусь и обязательно стану чемпионом Bellator. Спасибо.
What I want to say is Michael Falcao is a very good fighter, a strong fighter, but I think I won that fight. And also, with all due respect to the judges, I did win the fight. And what else I want to say is I want to come back. I'm going to come back very strong, and I'm going to be Bellator champion.
Brian Rogers, local favorite, one of our favorites, said before the fight, I think, basically, I'm paraphrasing, but live by the sword and die by the sword. And was bringing the fight for the entirety of the evening and then got caught. And Andreas, a great performance on a week's notice as our number 9 seed against what I think is one of the most powerful punchers in the world at 185 pounds. So Brian will be back with us in short order. He is just electrifying and spectacular to watch inside the cage. You saw tonight. And Andres moved on to our final, coming out of the 9th seed. So that's just a spectacular, calm performance. Took a lot of shots and a lot of damage, and just waited for your opportunity. Congratulations.
Thank you. First, apologize to Ryan for pushing him in at the weigh-in. You seem like an awesome guy, a great fighter, and I'm sorry about that. And I also would like to apologize to Miguel for pushing him. Emotions was high, and you know we all fighters, and I'm sorry about that too. About my win, Brian is a very heavy puncher, and now when I start cooling down, my body started hurting, and I was happy I got to win. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks for everyone coming out supporting Bellator Mixed Martial Arts here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's an honor and pleasure to have Bellator come to Ohio, where I started all my amateur and pro career at, so it's a nice homecoming party. Sorry it didn't turn out the way I would have liked it, but just like I've done all throughout my life, I've made mixed martial arts my first and foremost priority, so I'm just going to try to continue to do so. At this stage in the game, not many people really work a full-time job at this level, so just something I got to keep thinking about and see what else I can do, put the best foot forward, and maybe time maybe just go to school and just fight, give it a shot. So thanks everyone for the time, and I feel good. I'll be at Scoundrels, but anyone wants to come hang out afterwards.
Many years ago, about 4 years ago, the gentleman sitting to my left was extremely well known in Japan as he was beating some of the top fighters in the world. His Joaquin Hansen fight, if those of you who can go onto YouTube and take a look at it, is one of the greatest fights you'll ever see. I was lucky enough in the infancy of this company to sign him to a long-term agreement. And he's done nothing for us except put on incredible fights, beat great fighters, put on wars, bring the fight, finish fights. It's just been a human highlight reel for us. When Eddie asked me, right when we first signed, he lost to this gentleman, one of the best fighters in the world at 155 pounds in Japan in front of a huge crowd, and said to me, can you give me that rematch? And it took 3 years to do it, and it took kind of Strikeforce falling out of the realm of what they were doing with Dream. But we were finally able to put it together. After the loss to Chandler, Ed came back and said, I don't want an easy road. I want one of the best guys in the world. Please keep the Aoki fight on. and we did, and you saw what happened. I just could not be happier for this guy. It's a big win. It reestablishes him as one of the greatest 155-pounders in the world, and he's just an absolute class act. It's been a pleasure working with him. I hope we're able to continue working with him for years to come. But a big congratulations to Eddie Alvarez and to Shinya Aoki. An absolute pleasure to have one of the greatest submission fighter in all of mixed martial arts fighting in our cage for Bellator on our network. Just a class act all around and one of the most dangerous fighters on the face of the earth. Came out on the losing side, but a big thank you to Shinya and to Ed. Huge win. Congratulations, my friend.
Thank you. I had a good night tonight. It's that simple. I went to Japan 3 years ago, and I fought Aoki for the first time, and he got me. He got me that night. I wasn't focused, and he was able to submit me pretty quickly, and I just had a good night, and that's the way the sport goes. I think people look too far in the fights, and I just had a good night, and I want to thank Aoki and the Japanese people for bringing him here and giving me a chance of fighting him again. He could have easily said no to this rematch. He beat me in about a minute and something. He could have said no and it would have been justifiable, but he had the courage and the respect for me to give me the rematch. And Bjorn Rebney was able to go out there and get him on this promotion, on this big stage, and give me the opportunity to show my skills and give me some redemption for my mistake a while ago. So I'm happy for that, and I have so many people to thank. It'd be boring for you guys to sit here and listen to everybody, and everybody, you guys know who you are, who I need to thank, but most of all, my wife. She's sitting here. I left home for the first time ever for a training camp, and it was heart-wrenching for me. I have 3 kids at home, and I never leave home ever. I'm a dad and a husband first, and that was a messed up part, but it paid off, and I'll be home and I'll enjoy myself. Thank you.
はい、また頑張りたいと思います。今日はありがとうございました。
I will come back again and thank you. Good night.
Last but not least, I would like to congratulate a lady sitting at the end of the table, Jessica, on another good win. Another good performance.
Thank you, Bjorn, for having me. Everybody here for Bellator, you guys are great. All the guys here on the table here with me, you guys are awesome. I train with guys like you all the time. I know what you go through. I know what your girlfriends go through. I know what all of your families go through. And I think it's awesome what you guys do and how you represent the sport. And I hope I can do that as a female in the same way. And I want to thank my teammates. Marcus, you're a great coach. You put up with a lot for me. You're a great person. I love you to death. Pablo, you're great. Joe Delgado, you're awesome. Thanks, Bellator, for coming back.
Thank you to the fighters. Thank you, Bjorn. Let's open it up for questions here in the room. Again, a quick note. If you're just joining us on the live stream, we welcome you to the IX Center here in Cleveland, Ohio for the post-fight press conference at Bellator Fighting Championships 66. Let's take our first question. Here's the first hand up. We'll move through the room. And here's our first.
Bjorn, are you going to show Eddie the money?
I don't think he's left me with a lot of choice now. Do you? I knew going into it that a win in this kind of a fight would obviously do for Ed what Ed wanted to do for Ed. Ultimately, it sounds counterintuitive, but what I was hoping he would do, which was have a spectacular performance and reestablish himself. I mean, Ed was riding an incredible wave and has been awesome for this promotion since its very infancy, and has been the greatest spokesman we could hope to have. And had a very substantial misstep against Mike Chandler and needed a big fight like this to reestablish himself. So it sounds counterintuitive, but I'm happy for him. And yeah, the price has probably gone up dramatically. Good for him, his wife, and his family.
next question.
Thomas Anderson of CageFanatic.com. This question is for Eddie. Eddie, you are now 1-1 against Shinya Aoki. You won the first fight, you won tonight. What are the chances of seeing a trilogy after this?
I said I have a very good rapport with the Japanese. I fought Dream a ton in 2008, so I spoke with the promoters here, and I have a ton of respect for them. And I told them, Aoki got me in Japan 3 years ago. I got him here tonight, and maybe we can meet somewhere halfway, like in Hawaii or something, and fight somewhere nice and whatever. But this is like one of them fights, man, where it's like I'm a striker, he's a devastating grappler, and it could go either way. I had a good night tonight. It's no more than that, so I'm happy and I'll enjoy myself tonight.
How was your experience in Cleveland, and can we expect Bellator to return in the near future?
Yeah, it was spectacular. I mean, the media support was unbelievable. We came in and saw you guys twice at ESPN, and everything was just electrifying. The fans were great, the response was great, the media was spectacular, the crowd was making huge noise. I mean, it's rare for us to go into a market and when the doors open at 6, have people lined up hundreds deep. There's just a response to this sport here that's just unbelievable. It was great. It was a great all-around experience, and I would say there's a 100% chance that we would come back. Just got to figure the right date and get us scheduled. But just what a great situation, and what a great fan response and media response. It's everything you look for.
I got a couple. Rick, yours knockout power has just increased dramatically since the drop down to lightweight. Can you kind of talk about how your power has translated with the weight cut?
I believe I've always had knockout power. I just had to kind of refine my technique. Obviously, fighting that, I'm still new to this sport. So when I fought in welterweight in the finals, let's say, like almost a year ago. So the improvements I made with my striking and it's really kind of obviously made me have more power, I guess, and then the drop down makes a big difference as well. So it's just a little bit of everything. I'm one of the bigger guys now, and my technique's improved, and my all-around game has gotten better. So it's a little bit of everything.
And I've got one for Virginia. You said that you would like to be back. Would you be willing to come back and do a Bellator tournament?
I can't tell at this moment.
All right, your next question, gentlemen, comes from the other side of the room.
Hi, Chuck Delbert with the Plain Dealer. Brian, can you talk to us a little bit about what you said to the referee when the fight was stopped? Did you believe it was stopped too early, or?
At the time, I got clipped with a punch. I fell on my back, and I thought Andres was just covering a side mount. I wasn't aware that I took one when I was on the ground as well, and my coaches informed me. I'm a pretty scholarly fighter, and I've seen a ton of fights, and I just didn't remember getting hit with that one on the ground. So I did think it was a poor stoppage at the time because I didn't know I got hit with the second shot on the ground. But I saw a little bit of the film, and it is what it is. But I signed the waiver, so I know we're here for the safety and the health of the fighters, but I signed the waiver, so I got no problem going to as hard and long as I can go. And that's just kind of the way. Maybe we've seen other fights go longer, and guys wake back up, I got clipped, and maybe my eyes rolled, maybe they didn't. I don't know. I have to look at it, but I signed the waiver, and I'm down for whatever.
Thank you, Brian. Our next question.
Hey guys, Nate Jolly from Base Out of Cage. I got a question for Mr. Sprague. That was a really interesting technique. You were taking a lot of damage, and I just wondered, at what point were you wondering how much more that you could take before you get your lucky break? Because if anybody's like me, it looked like you had you on the ropes a couple times.
Yeah, I had a couple rough times, and it was pretty hard. But no, I never felt really worried or in too much of a danger. I know he had his ways with me a couple of times, but I was very focused on the win, and I came here to win. And I caught him with my one maker, left hook.
Thank you, gentlemen. Next question.
Bjorn, I had a chance to talk with Bernie about the incident that happened, and Falco could possibly be facing a suspension, possibly anywhere between 30 days and 6 months, from my understanding. What have you been told about the situation, and if he does get a long-term suspension, how would that be handled?
I don't think he did. I think they ultimately ended up handling it, and Andres moved to the commission a couple of times, and I think Michael did as well. And I think it's been worked out. I don't think any suspensions have been handed down. I think there's an economic penalty to play. But I don't have all the specific information running around, but I'll get it as soon as we're done here. But the emotions are running high, and that can happen. It doesn't happen often in our game. It's an anomaly. We don't like to see it any more than we don't like to see it at all. But it's occasionally going to occur. It happens in hockey. It happens in football. It happens in baseball. It's going to happen here. It doesn't make us any different than anybody else.
So, Bjorn, you won't hesitate to bring the two finalists in the next time that comes around?
No, absolutely not. I mean, the vast majority of interaction that you see in this game, I think, it is a shocking dichotomy. Guys try with everything they've got, an amazing world-class skill, to beat each other senseless for 15 or 25 minutes, and then immediately when that fight stops, they typically embrace and thank each other for the opportunity. That doesn't happen in any sport that I know of. So, other than this one. So, I won't. I mean, it's just emotions were running high. We've done, I don't even know, it's close to 70 events, and it's happened one time bringing finalists into the cage. I'm sure it will never happen again with the combatants that are sitting up at this table, and it's just, it's something that's going to happen, but it won't change the strategy on bringing guys in to see each other before they're going to move on to the final.
Thank you for the question. Thank you, Bjorn. The next question.
Derek C. Paul from Yahoo Sports. This is for Bjorn Rebney. My question for you is, what is your plans for the women's division? We saw Jessica put on a great performance tonight, and what is the future of the women's division in Bellator?
I think the women's future with Bellator rests at 125. And we've got Megumi Fujii fighting Jessica Aguilar coming up on the 18th of May in Lake Charles. And that's, in my mind, and in many pundits' minds, the number one versus the number two in the world. The two best female fighters that we have in the game today. They'll be up at the top of that show. Lisa Ellisford, who is just a rock star in the women's division, Rosie Sexton, and Jessica, who's been performing at a high level, consistently winning. We've just got to round that out with probably three other ladies at a very high level, and then put together a 125 tournament. We've got Zoe Frosto, who's coming back off of injury after injury after injury. She had a very difficult time making 15 because it's just not her body. It's just the size that she is as a human being. But could fight at 25 as well. So we've got the makings of a very strong 8-woman tournament with all the ladies being ranked somewhere around the top 10 of the world. So, I would say probably 6-7 months off, and we'll try to put it together.
And let's check the room one last time for any other questions. Here's our first.
This is a question for Eddie. Eddie is Kurt Heinrich from MMA Out Loud. Eddie, you told me yesterday that you feel like you're the best lightweight in the world, and now with a dominant performance over MMA royalty, do you feel like this gives you the leverage to get that immediate rematch with Michael Chandler, or are you still up in the air about that?
Did I tell you I was the best lightweight in the world? Sorry, I didn't know I said that. I would love the rematch with Michael Chandler. Bjorn, it was the first thing I told him when my face was, beat up and I was down and out before I even walked out of the cage. I looked him in the face and I said, I would want to fight him again. And unfortunately, that's not the protocol here at Bellator. You can't do that. And my own thinking was that there should be some exceptions. I think there's a little glitch in the Bellator tournament style. That there should be some exceptions, especially when especially when who's talking? I feel like especially when it should be warranted when it's something like Fight of the Year. I feel like that was an exception. Unfortunately, I was wrong, and I was put back into the tournament. And I feel like I would have had no problem doing that if I had the number of fights on my contract. And you know, I have a family, and just like everyone in here, I'm trying to get paid just as everyone else. So you can't blame me for that. And I'm looking ahead and looking with Bjorn, and you know, call it what you want. I had a good night tonight. I'm not gonna sit here and rant and rave and say I'm the best lightweight in the world. I had a hell of a night, and I'm happy I did well.
We have a question that will be asked in Japanese, so if we could translate the question before Shinya answers it. Here's the question.
青木選手に質問ですけども、まず、今日アルバルク選手と戦ってみて、率直にどんな感想を持ったのかということと、試合終わって、今どんな心境でいるのか聞かせてください。The question was that Mr. Aoki, can you tell me what are you feeling right now at this moment after this fight? And can you also give us the impression of the area was after the fight?
単純に僕は負けたので、特に言うことはなく、そして単純にアルバレス選手が強かったということだけです。
Since I lost this fight, I don't think I have any right to say something about the fight. And tonight, Eddie was strong fighters. That's the impression I can say.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. And we'll turn it back over to Bjorn Rebney for closing comments.
Just a big congratulations to the fighters sitting on my left and some of the fighters on the right, who you will see again in short order. A huge thank you to Cleveland. This was just a great event. Cannot wait to come back here again soon. And thank you guys for coming.
Thank you very much.